Hey guys, welcome back to Game Borders. Today we got another versus video for you.
Oh yeah.
This one's a little bit different because these were both published and put out, designed, everything by different people. So, kind of a different.
Same publisher. Next move.
Same publisher, but yeah, different designer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but pretty similar. Both 8 players, 8+.
Yep, 8+.
2 to what is it? 8. Oh, 8. The age is 8+. You guys. There we go. I'm figuring it out. We've never looked at board game before. 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of similarities here. So we're not just bringing you nothing and trying to compare them.
Yeah.
So
tiles. There's a board.
Yeah, we got Azul and we got Reef. Azul is a tile laying game. You're kind of making a tile. This one's more Reef. Reef is
you're laying a reef.
A coral
it's
reef,
like this, but 3D.
Almost stacking up instead of stacking vertical.
Yeah, so it can spread out as well, but it's also going up and stuff like that. Think Azul 3D. So
yeah, that's actually a pretty good point.
And then
literally what I just barely said.
All-knowing man in the sky, go ahead and slap some prices on these so they can see those in editing. I'm going to do it in editing. That's me.
Yeah, he's inflating his ego.
I'm going to slap some prices on these.
Kind of pushing me off camera with your ego there, but it's swelling so much. All right, so what are our points here? What are we going through?
All right, so first one is, let's go components.
Okay.
So we can do, components, and that includes the art and all that kind of stuff on the box.
Okay.
Let's start with you, Stalone.
Components.
Yep.
It's tough. When you first say components, I want to go with Reef. Because it's got all the little tiles and everything are different sizes and shapes. The board looks more like a Reef. It's kind of fun and exciting. But then I think about it a little bit more, and I think cards kind of get in the way in a game like this a little bit. They're easy to rip. A lot of tokens, a lot more.
I've never ripped a card in my life, but I guess they could be easy to rip.
Well, I assume they're easy. I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about how much more Reef has. Reef has more stuff. It's got the tokens, it's got the cards, it's got the kind of a lot more, and Azul has less. Which is that better?
Is less is more?
Less is.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go with Azul. I think I'm going to go with Azul.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm switching here. I immediately think Reef, but I'm going to Azul. I like how the tiles are a different color, and I like how little components are. Yeah. It's an easy throw it out and you're done.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's sad how wrong you are, and I'm about
to
explain
why.
Let's
go to Drayden first so we can cool you down off of why I'm wrong so bad.
Let's let your
I'm going to edit your whole talk out. I can do that.
Wow, I've never been more cut in my life.
Black bar the whole
video. This is going to be hard. And then Spencer's opinion.
Yeah. I'm going to say Reef. I like not only the design on the box better, the art on the box just looks Reef just looks way more intricate, a lot more colors. And on the board, Reef looks way better.
I can do it too, buddy.
Reef looks way better than Azul to me on the board because it's 3D. Even though there's less colors, I just think it's because you're stacking them and they're all different levels. It's just way more aesthetically pleasing to me, and I think I like the components better on Reef as well. Yeah, there's more components altogether, but the Reef tiles are thick. Like Legos, they stack well.
These bad boys.
They're a little thinner. Plus, I don't like how some of them on Azul are just plain red, and then there's some with actual designs.
Like how these ones are all just plain green.
At least they're all plain. I don't mind if they're all plain. It just is a little weird when you have some with intricate designs and some with just plain. It just feels like they almost didn't finish it. Or something, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me aesthetically. So, components aren't bad in Azul, although the board's warped in this copy.
This copy, come on. I mean, I play copies, but they're not warped.
So, Reef's going to get it for me on this one.
I think we're going to
now let me tell you why you're
explain it to us, Drayden, and then see if there's not an argument here.
Azul is way more crisp and clean. Aside from the warped boards, but you lay everything out, it's square, it's clean, you can do your own designs on the one side, or you got their preset design. But it just looks clean.
And we're not even talking about
The designs are all over the place.
Chaos is beauty.
I like it. I like the game. But if we're going like components, way too much. The little tokens, I don't care for those in games. Don't care for them in games. Less components, cleaner
You do
components.
keep track of it on your board so you can see it clearly.
Azul, you
don't
do
have-
keep track, and it
That's
has that.
nice.
But I almost like it better
No,
with
you don't.
the
You're such a
the
liar,
coins and Reef,
man.
because you don't know where everybody's at until the end. So it's like all the pressure's built up at the end. So, which I like that, because if you have some runaway person, like you always do, that's
I
at
lost
50 and
still,
you're at
didn't
10.
I lost, didn't I?
If you're at 50 and I'm at 10 on Azul, and you can clearly see, it's like, I'm screwed. Why am I even playing
Well,
this
then
game?
you
Well,
just
because
end
you
the
still
game.
have the ones at the bottom. If you get 7 points here or 10 points here, you can catch
ridiculous.
up. Also, not just your board, but overall, the whole thing looks better. With the way Azul's laid out in front of you, where everybody plays, there you don't just have piles of things everywhere. You have it's all nicely set.
I will admit, and that goes on to our next point, player interaction.
Yeah.
Now, Azul is, I'm going to go first, and Azul
Thank
has it
goodness.
for me on player interaction. Although, I mean, this Reef does have a little bit, because you're kind of taking cards that someone might need, you're
Good
placing
picture.
coins, and you're taking the tiles, and once the tiles are gone,
It
then
doesn't
the game's
get
over.
intense until like the last.
Yeah,
two
so there's a
rounds.
little bit of interaction with Reef, but Azul's got, I think, a little bit more, because you're physically taken from one pile, and you're just constantly watching, like, uh-oh, I'm going to get screwed. There's nothing I can do about it. So
You can see there's a little bit of resentment.
there's
in
not
this video.
animosity for sure, but I think Azul's got it for player interaction.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to agree. I think it is. You do have some with Reef, but Azul, it feels a lot more like if somebody takes your card in Reef, it's like, okay, you've taken my card.
Yeah,
I'll get
but another one might come up that I
Azul,
can use.
somebody takes your pile and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
my
we're getting
plan is done.
stabby.
Yep, and that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Stabby is fun.
Resentment is
and
exciting.
another thing with being able to see where people's points are, I think that adds a little bit more in player interaction too, because you can see, okay, what do I got? Who's winning?
What do I got to
catch
do
up?
to just? Oh yeah, nothing. I can't do anything. I might as well quit in round 3.
There's. You need to
Quitter
leave
talk.
this
Hey,
animosity at the door, buddy, because we're coming in here with open minds and open hearts,
Yeah.
right? This is.
All right.
Trey, you wanna tell us what you
So
think?
as far as player interaction goes, I'll say on Reef, this goes back to the small tokens. It takes that player out of the game. Stalone
The
was
one
pretty
that-
much off on La La Land the whole time, handing out tokens here and there. I need a token. I need a
I-
token. I need a token. No, I need a token.
I feel like that's more player downtime, maybe.
Are they not the same?
No.
They're not the same. And
Well, that's what I think about player downtime.
Right.
As far as player interaction, they definitely said it all with the Azul and Reef.
So yeah, the downtime I actually think that Reef has less downtime because the turns go by so fast. But like you said, it can cause whoever is being the bank
Yeah.
is constantly
Out of
just
the game.
Yeah. It is hard.
calculating. He's got his
And
little
then by
hat
the time
on
it
there.
gets to his turn, he's like, okay, now what the heck am I doing? And that
Yeah.
takes a little bit more
Although
time on one person's
you
turn.
still did win last time.
I kinda
You were
just
the
threw
bank.
cards
Cheat.
down. I do cheat.
Yeah.
I am a cheater. I don't know why you guys literally gave me the bank. I said it multiple times on our videos. I am the cheater.
So
On accident. It's an accidental
But
cheat.
I also
swear, we
think-
all enjoy it.
I also think that could be mitigated by just having the player that knows Reef the most handle the money, and
You could
Oh, so
even
you
put
can
it
cheat
in a,
the most efficiently?
yeah, so you can just slide a hand stuff.
if you had a lot of like just
Azul, the downtime on Azul. Let me just real quick get into
Go
that.
ahead. I got
It's a lot more. It's a lot more because as you're waiting and you're just pretty much watching. The turns take a little bit longer because you got to do that, and you got to place them and all that stuff. But yeah, you're just you're sitting there. It's not much more, but you are sitting waiting for everybody to interact, and the turns go by slightly slower. We're talking, heck, I don't know, seconds here.
Right.
So, but I think Reef niches it out for me.
I think before you rudely interrupted me, and
Yeah.
let's point that out on camera, if you could go by the honor system on Reef and just put all the points in the middle and people just take what
That
they
would-
get, that would help.
Yeah.
And that might mitigate it a little bit more. I actually think Azul, it depends because they're both they're barely any downtime in either of them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Reef, you're going by so fast. The thing is I'm going to say that Reef has less downtime because it did feel like it was getting to my turn faster. Because there's kind of less thinking. If somebody takes your pile, then it's like, hey, I'll just grab the next best thing. You kind of have it all planned out. Yeah, I'm going to say Reef is a little bit better, and especially if you could use the honor system and just trust that people will grab the points that they need, I think it would go a lot a lot faster. It would take away that one person taking that more time. So.
And then
I already
said your piece, but if you want to add to it, you can.
I do.
Everything I said was totally factual, correct.
And which one did you go with?
I go with Azul.
I think Azul, the other thing is player downtime. Once you're done with taking all the tiles, you have to shake them all up and do the
reset
other
them.
That right there makes Azul take longer.
That is true.
That is where
I didn't even consider that, so I'm even more right.
Yeah, you are more right, and I think that I agree with you. Let's go on to the next thing.
All right, the next thing I wanted to touch on is strategy. Now, this one's going to be kind of a tough one.
This isn't going to be a tough one, but you're going to argue it, and then we're going to have to fight about it.
Okay, Drayden, you go first.
Yeah,
while
the person that
I'm
is-
going to build up my case.
You better build it like a reef, buddy. Build it up.
I forgot the
Strategy. Which one's
Okay,
more strategic?
The one that involves more strategy is Reef, but you have to know all the cards to plan your strategy. If you're just pulling out the game and you're kind of learning it, or you don't really know the game very well, then Azul is better for strategy, because you have to get tokens, you have to, potentially screw over somebody and make sure it doesn't get back to you. But like I said, if you don't, that's just if you're just getting into the game. If you know the game really well, then Reef has more strategy because you have to plan out your board better. The up, the down, the side to side.
So make a final decision so that we know.
Well, I like the strategy in Azul more.
But which one takes more strategy?
Well, I guess if you like the strategy more,
Then I
Azul,
guess that
then
wins.
I guess
Okay.
in a
That
way.
makes sense. That
So-
makes sense.
I just like the way Azul's
Is it-
strategy is set up. Reef is so much. You gotta really know the game of Reef, and I just we'll get to later. Spoiler: I don't think it's that fun to play it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you want to go or should I?
We'll just go with you.
I want to say Azul because Reef, I had no strategy and I ended up winning. I didn't know what that guy was doing. If you know the game really well and you know how to stack them properly, you can end up winning. And there's a lot of strategy points in there.
Said.
I know, and I'm saying I agree with you, but it also relies on cards and stuff, which is like, if I get this card, then I'll have a sweet Reef, and that's awesome, but then that might not come up. But Azul is kind of, if you play one side, it's there in front of you, and if you play on the other side, it's there in front of you, but then you have the option. You still have to go on a diagonal, otherwise you're screwed, and it just kind of changes that up a little bit. So, Which one do I like more? I feel like I was getting more involved in the strategy in Azul. But I feel like I could see how Reef could have more, right? But I'm going to go with Azul, unless you can convince me. I could switch.
So, I'm going to go with Reef, and mainly for the freedom that the board allows you to do. Yes, you can play the other side in Azul, and you have a little bit more freedom where you can place them, but you still can't, be directly...
Pretty much have to be a diagonal.
Yeah, so there's a lot of rules, and it's one layer. So, rules on one layer, that's restricting quite a bit, whereas Reef is not only you don't have any rules of the main layer, but you can build up and you don't have any rules there other than it can only be 4 high. So I think that it going to the 3D model makes it so there's a lot more potential that you could dive really deep into the strategy, and even though it's a simple game, I feel like you could really dive deep and once you kind of know it, get more into what seems like on the surface a simple strategy, but there's room to go deeper. I do say that Azul is more streamlined with the strategy, so first-time players can see the strategy and picture it a lot quicker. And that's why I think a lot of people would probably and I think that's why Azul is more popular. Because this strategy is easier to see in Azul right off the bat, but I think that in the long run, Reef's got it for me. Long-winded answer.
Long way of saying
They've all been long-winded answers. It's kind of tough. They're pretty similar games, and when you really think about it, it's hard to choose.
Now, the last point we're going to be touching on is the replayability. And I guess we could do... let's mix replayability and setup cleanup, because they're both so dang minimal on setup cleanup. So... I guess I'll go first on this one.
Okay, I was going to offer, but no, you take it.
Yeah, again, setup cleanup's so minimal, but I do think the Reef's got it a little bit, mainly because as you do have to pull out 4, and then every turn you got to reset that. Whereas this is Reef is more of you set it up, and then you're kind of going, the game's done.
Yeah.
So I think Reef's got it a little bit on that. Cleanup, I think that the Reef's probably a little bit more on the cleanup because you got to separate all the tiles. Whereas Azul, you just throw them all in the bag.
But you wouldn't have to separate all of them. You could just put them in your box.
That's true.
And then next time it's a little bit harder to set up, but it's easier.
You don't even have to separate all the tiles. You can just put them in a big pile and pull
That is true. They're so big and so easily
you could.
different.
Yeah,
You could easily do that. So I guess, pretty sixes on that.
If you're a monster.
Yeah.
Replayability. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on this, but I think Reef got it as well.
You scoundrel.
And then for the same reason. I think that Azul is going to hit the table more often up front, but the strategy is so linear, I think you'll get bored of it, whereas I think Reef, the more you understand it, the deeper the strategies can get, meaning it's going to outlast it in the long run. And that's my 2 cents, and you can say what you want, Drayden, and I'll just
close your ears and close your eyes.
Plug your ears. That's going to get controversial. Actually, setup and cleanup, it's so minuscule, I'm not going to go into it. Spencer said everything.
So you give it to Reef?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So this one, I actually do have to give it to Reef on this one. Replayability and everything, I don't like Reef as much, but with Azul, whether you flip the board, which way you go, you still have to go in the diagonal line. So it is one strategy pretty much. Like as far as your winning maneuver, you can't have some intricate board where you're trying all these cool different things.
Mm.
So in that respect, Reef does kind of have more playability where you're not going to get the same thing over and over.
Right.
So I do have to give it to Reef.
Okay.
Pains me to say it.
Setup, Reef takes it because it's easier to just throw everything in a pile, shuffle your cards, and you're done. Cleanup, Azul takes it because all you have to do is dump it in there and you're done.
Yep.
Replayability, I want to give it to Azul because it feels like these are 2 games that are going to come out almost every time you play board games. Like, that's how easy they are. That's how fun they are. They can come out every single time you play board games. Nobody plays board games every single day. But even if you played a board game like twice a week or whatever, every time I look in that closet, I'd play Azul instead. I'd rather this one. I just want to play more. You know, I don't know if that's my own personal preference, but I just feel like within those 2 weeks each month, you're not gonna get bored of it. You know, I mean, does seem like there's more strategy in Reef, but Azul is more of everyone's gonna be interacting. You're gonna get a little bit more exciting when somebody gets screwed over because they had to take all the tiles. You know, you're gonna just enjoy it more with everybody around, even if you already know your strategy, even if everybody's played 100 times and everybody knows what the best strategy is. You're still going to enjoy playing it because you're all going for that same strategy. Yeah. And so that kind of makes it fun, even though it may not be as much strategy or technical as Reef. It's just funner. I think it's just a better, easier game to bring out and enjoy with company. Yeah. So. All
right, so let's go to the final countdown. All right, Drayden, let's have you start. What one would you, if you had and I think they're very similar in price.
Yeah.
But if you walked in the store, only had enough money to buy one, which one would you buy?
Here's the thing. I'm going to go to the store later, and I only have enough money to buy one.
So this is a real life situation.
Yeah.
And I'm going to purchase Azul, because it's a prettier game. I mean, look at that box artwork. How do you not want to pull that out?
Again, wrong. I can't say that enough.
I don't have a fetish for the ocean. But anyways, I'm going to be able to bring this to my family on Thanksgiving and teach a bunch of half-drunk people how to play a game.
Yep.
They're not going to be half-drunk. They're going to be very drunk.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's all this half-talk?
All
right, so Azul gets it for you, Stalone.
I'm going to have to go Azul too. I think it's easier to bring to the table for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy just the interaction with everybody when I'm playing it. When I played Reef, I didn't feel like I had any interactions. That was both times. And it's easier to learn. I just I enjoy it more, and I think it's a fun little strategy game.
All right, guys, that's the end.
It's 2 out of 3, but I want to say my piece. So while I like Reef better, they did make some great points that the player interaction is definitely in Azul's favor, and I wanted to give it to Reef so bad because it is a fun game, and actually I've played both of these games. Well, I don't know. You may have played Azul more than me.
Like 3 or 4 times. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I know I've played Reef more than these guys, and Azul I've played it quite a bit. And again, Azul's kind of gone down a little bit. Reef's kind of notched up, but that's to say Azul's going to start higher. So as much as I want to give it to Reef, Azul's going to take it for me as well. If I had the money, because I played them both, I would probably buy Reef. But everybody else out there, all you guys new to the game of both games,
Casual board game.
go Azul first. You're gonna enjoy it
I think
better out the gate.
Yeah.
And then, as you save up more money, get Reef and enjoy that one later.
I would go back to Reef for sure. It's a fun game. I enjoy it, and I do feel like there's a lot there that I haven't touched into.
I hate
yet,
to agree
but
with these savages, but
we came in here hot though, and look at us. We all
Scholars,
agree.
you mean?
I hate
This
to
is fun.
agree with them.
This
I
is
hate it.
Here.
But yeah,
Winner,
Azul's
winner,
got it.
chicken dinner. Alrighty, there you have it, you guys. So make
let us
sure
know
you
in the comments if you agree.
Oh, yeah.
This is obviously
Love to
just
know.
our opinion. We're not.
No,
The
boo.
correct
This
opinion
is the
is
final opinion. Remember, we said we're not doing any of that opinion crap. This
Alert the presses.
This is the final opinion. Let it be known.
All you game boarding reviewers out there, you can put this one to bed. We already figured it out.
Yep, we're done.
Well, if you agree with us, put it in the comments. And if you enjoyed our versus video, go ahead and like. And always appreciate new subscribers.
Like,
Yeah,
subscribe.
and comments. Love to hear
Yeah.
from you guys. It's
Yeah.
fun. So
Yep. So until
Thank you.
next time, I'm going to sign off. I'm Spencer.
I'm Stallone.
I'm Drayden.
Bye.
Later.